And let's move. Hold on. Thank you. Now let's move to introductions, and the introductions will start with board members first. And would you be kind enough to mention your name, how long you've been with CAB, and the area or town that you represent? East County, West County, Central County, etc. Let's start with Rena.
Rena Hurley, and I represent West County. I've been on the CAB board for about 3 months now.
Latanya Thompson, West County, and I've been a board member for 1 year.
Scott Parsons, I represent Central County, resident of Moraga. And I've been on the CAB 2 years.
Reverend Julius Vanhook, West County, and I've been on CAB for 2 years.
Crawford Carpenter, representing Central County. I've been on CAB for 3 years.
Nicole Green, representing East County, and I've been on the CAB for 3 years.
Ozzy Carter, representing East County, living in Pittsburgh. I've been on CAB for 3 years.
Brenda Lee, I'm doing West County, and this is my first year.
Jeffrey Robinson in Central County. I've been on CAB all of today.
Before we move to the staff, welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
We are so pleased that you've decided to join us, and hopefully we will see some good things from you in the future. So thank you. Jill, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself?
Sorry. Crawford is Justin.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
online,
Justin Van
Justin.
Zerber, West County, been with CAB for a year. Thank you.
Okay, and then Rena Moore, thank you.
Hi, this is Rena Moore. This is my first year on CAB, and I represent East County.
Thank you. Jill,
Jill Ray, Office of Supervisor Campus Anderson.
and is there anybody else online, I believe, that represent any of our supervisors?
Hi, yes, good morning. My name is Alejandra Sanchez. I am a district representative for Supervisor Kim Carlson.
Okay, is there anybody else? Okay, thank you. Any other staff now? Patrice and,
Good morning, everyone. Teresa Guillory here from the Office of Reentry Justice at Probation.
and Gariana?
Good morning. Happy Thursday. My name is Garyana Youngblood, and I'm also with the ORJ.
Thank you. Now, if there are any members of the public, particularly those on Zoom, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself if you desire in chat? Moving next on our agenda, are there any announcements? We'll start first with those in the room from the board. Any announcements? Let's start around, make sure we don't miss anybody. All right. Anybody on the board that's via Zoom? Any announcements from Justin or Rena? Thank you. Any announcements for those that are in this room? Seeing none, hey, boy, we're batting 1,000 here today. And now, moving to any announcements for those of you that have joined us via Zoom. Are there any announcements?
Yes, Crawford. Jamie has her hand raised.
Excellent. Yes, please.
Hi, two things. I'm Jamie Jeanette. I'm with Health, Housing, and Homeless Services. One, I wanted to note, it doesn't look like the chat feature is enabled in this meeting, so we can't introduce ourselves in there. But two, I wanted to note that we are coming up on our homeless point in time count in January, and we are soliciting volunteers to help with that observational count at the end of January. So I'll put information, well, if chat, I won't put information in the chat, but I will make sure that staff has that information. We are soliciting volunteers to help on the morning of early the morning of January 24th. And this count is really important to help capture the need, which then impacts the amount of resource that comes to our community to support people that are experiencing homelessness, including folks reentering from incarceration. Thank you.
Yes, please.
County Council's recommendation is that chat be closed during meetings because it's hard to capture that public comment in chat, so that's why chat's closed. And I shared the point in time count information with this group, and ORJ has sent it out to a variety of listservs.
Well, it's on its way.
Will be sent out to a variety of listservs.
Okay, well, thank,
What can I?
oh, please.
Jamie, can you, notate the time, for those that volunteers at 5:30?
Yes, it is at dark 30. So there will be a training the week of January 8th, an in-person training for folks that are participating, and then the actual count. We intentionally go very, very early in the morning so that we can capture people in sleep settings. And when I say capture, we're literally just observing. We're not waking anybody up. We're not going into their space. But it will be very early on the morning of the 24th of January. And there will be, for most folks, you can actually choose where you want to go. So you'll have some options about what section of the county you'd like to be in.
Thank you. Are there any other
Thank you.
comments, questions, etc.? Okay, moving on then. Is there any comment on any item that's under the jurisdiction of the Community Advisory Board and that's not on the agenda? Any public comment? Gariani? Has anybody raised their hand there?
No, I'm
Thank
not
you.
seeing anybody online.
Thank you. Let's move to the next item, which is item number 3 on our agenda. The approval of record of actions from Thursday, November the 9th, the CAB general meeting. And you have that information in attachment 1, pages 4 through 7 for those of you that want to look. We'll give you 1 minute. And then after that, we would like to have a motion for approval and a second.
Seconds.
10,
I'm like, I'm ready to.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay. May we have a motion for approval?
I motion to approve the record of actions from the Thursday, November 9th CAB general.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Latanya was the second. Is there any discussion from the board? Any discussion from the public? Ariana, would you be kind enough to call the vote?
Yes, I was going to take a roll call vote if that's okay.
Yes.
Crawford,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Ozzy,
Aye.
Brenda,
Aye.
Raina Moore,
Aye.
Scott Parsons,
Aye.
Latanya Thompson,
Aye.
Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Aye.
Justin Van Zerber,
Aye.
Raina Hurley,
Aye.
Jeffrey Robinson. Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving next then to item number 4, it's my understanding that we do not have the individual Randy Reyes with us. However, we did interview him at OCEC. And based on our interview, we would like still to present the gentleman to the board. And let's make sure we're going according to law. We can still present him, pass on him, and we've got some comments here that we'd like to make. Okay.
We may want to share, if there was a particular reason why, he wasn't able to make it today.
Was there a reason given to you, Gariana?
Yes, unfortunately, he is not feeling well. So he was not able to attend because he's sick.
All right, before we begin, are there any comments from those that were at the OCEC meeting? Prior to some general comments that we will make, are there any comments? Let's start. Brenda, anything about Mr. Reyes?
No, I'm just impressed with this application.
Thank you. Reverend Van Hook?
No, I just thought he was a good applicant and I, time that we had speaking.
And Scott?
And I second the Reverend.
Okay, and I'll third all of those. Okay, now let's get to the meat of what we talked about. When asked what innovative ideas has Impact Justice implemented, he worked for Impact Justice. He responded with the following. They created an environment where housing does not just warehouse individuals. Their clients live as citizens and they are not warehoused. Impact Justice identifies gaps in services and provides informative classes. When asked if he would be kind enough to share some of the challenges that he had experienced, this was upon being released and returning. And it was interesting. He started with financial, bank accounts, credit cards, etc. And his comment was he felt like a ghost when a credit check was run on him. So just information for us. He has lived experience. He had a life sentence and has had to rebuild his life completely. He's been in reentry for 7 years, and he said he continues to grow. He's interested in compassionate services. And he also said that he's a man of service and thankful to share his story that change is possible. He said his greatest accomplishment was understanding that each of us, all of us, we have a choice. And then with those comments, OCEC is enthusiastically recommending the gentleman, let me get his name correct, Randy Reyes, for approval. Any discussion?
I don't have any discussion. I'm very familiar with Impact Justice and Randy, so I think I actually agree with all of you guys. I think that he'll be a great addition. It'd be nice to have someone from Impact Justice on the board to bring that outside expertise on what they're doing with their program. So I'm all for what you guys are pushing forward.
Any other comments? Thank you.
I would also like to add that I was very thoroughly impressed with, first of all, Impact Justice. We did have a presentation from the organization earlier this year, and I felt that they had a great platform. I did have some questions, and I was hopeful that Mr. Reyes would have been here, but fortunately, the committee asked all the pertinent questions that I had, and my questions were specifically life experiences, as well as what he was doing as far as in reduction of recidivism. And those questions were answered via our subcommittee, our standing subcommittee, which I'm gratefully appreciative of. Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Is there, may we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move as a member of the OCEC, and equally impressed with the gentleman and his responses. So I think he'll make a very good member of this group. So I move that the main CAB body accept Randy Reyes as an applicant and that our approval be attached to that for the CCP to review.
Thank you, Scott. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, we've had a motion. We've had a second. Is there any further discussion first from the board? Is there any discussion next from anyone in the room? And then third, is there any discussion from anyone that is on Zoom? Ariana, could you check for us, please?
I don't see
Okay.
any hands raised from people on Zoom.
Okay, would you be kind enough to call the vote?
Yes. Crawford,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Ozzy,
Yes.
Brenda,
Yes.
Rana Moore,
Yes.
Scott Parsons,
Yes.
Latanya Thompson,
Yes.
Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Yes.
Justin Van Zerber,
Yes.
Rana Hurley,
Yes.
and Jeffrey Robinson.
Yes.
11 yeses, motion carries.
Thank you, thank you. Can we please move to the next item, item number 5 on our agenda? To discuss and finalize our CAB leadership for 2024. Let me just give a brief comment here on how maybe we can approach this particular item. We're now at the point of selecting CAB's leadership for next year. This is extremely important since the individuals that you will be selecting will set the stage for next year's focus. So in accordance with our guidelines, particularly Article 4, we'll call for leadership nominations. And we'll try to do it in this order. We'll start with the chair, followed by the vice chair, and then followed by the secretary. Now, hopefully, if we get that done, it won't take as long as it took when 3 of us started here. When it took 3/4 of the meeting, that shouldn't happen, I hope. But then after that, we'll take a look at our various standing subcommittees and see if some individuals would be kind enough to step up. You have to pardon me, my voice, I'm a little hoarse here today. So let's start with nominations for chair.
I just go.
Oh, yes.
I'll nominate Ozzy Carter. And I say why?
That's-
It's been a long time since I've done this, so I just get one nominate. I gotta give a speech.
No, you don't. Okay, it's up to you.
Oh.
Okay, Ozzy,
Can I just clarify one thing? So you all are welcome to nominate each other and also self-nominate. And then those who, the individual whom you have nominated or, well, you self-nominated, accepted. But whoever is, was nominated also has an opportunity to either accept or decline that nomination.
So I nominated Ozzy Carter for several reasons. As we all know, our wonderful Crawford is leaving. And I thought that she would be great to step into that role, to be able to pick up where he left off since we worked so very closely together. And she brings a lot of knowledge to the table, and that is a big seat to fill.
are there any other nominations for chair? Let's make sure we, Justin or Rena or Renee, I'm sorry. Any other nominations? Seeing.
I don't have any other ones. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have any other nominations. I agree that Ozzy would be a good choice though.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, we have a nomination. Is there any, first of all, oh no, let's call, wait a minute, let's get this in. We have a nomination.
Do you accept?
Do you accept? We better start there first.
It's an honor and I graciously accept the nomination.
Okay. Can we have a second? We've already have a nomination. Is there a second?
No, she can move.
She just accepted.
She just accepted it. Okay.
So do we gotta move to vote?
Yeah, okay. So somebody has got to now officially for the board then nominate her.
Nominated.
Oh, I thought
Well,
that's.
that's what, yeah, then I
So
call.
would you like me to be a second
Second, yeah,
for Ozzy
yes,
as the next chair of
yes.
CAB? Absolutely. I'll be
Okay.
second.
All right. Okay, I thought we were, okay. We have a nomination.
Well, you just scrambled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for the record, if you could just state that you moved to nominate.
Okay.
Or to
I,
select.
Nicole Green, I move to nominate and select Ozzy Carter to be our chair for next year's CAB.
All right, we have a nomination And we have a second. Is there any further discussion?
In agreement.
Okay, since there is no further discussion, would you call the vote? Oh,
Public
I'm
comment.
sorry. Public discussion. We'll get this straight eventually.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, there's no public comment or public discussion, then we can call the vote.
All right, all in favor of approving all in favor of approving Ozzy to be the CAB chair for the 2024, please raise your hand. All in favor?
You need to do a roll call vote because you have 2 members online.
Okay, thank you, Jill.
Thank
I
you.
wasn't sure. Crawford,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Ozzy,
Aye.
Brenda,
Aye.
Rana Moore,
Aye.
Scott Parsons,
Aye.
Latanya Thompson,
Aye.
Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Aye.
Justin Van Zerber,
Aye.
Raina Hurley,
Aye.
and Jeffrey Robinson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Congratulations. All right. All right. Okay. All right, moving now to the next, vice chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair?
I would like to nominate, this is Ozzy Carter, and Dry My Tears, and nominate Nicole Green for vice chair, CAB for 2024.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Let's go around the room. Any other nominations from the board? There are none. We have a nomination now. Let's get this straight. Is there a second? Oh, wait a minute.
I'll second. Oh, this is Brenda Lee. I'll second the nomination of Nicole Green as vice chair.
All right.
I didn't accept it yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna accept that. Don't I mean,
I'm making her ask.
All right, she has accepted. Now, let's start again. We have a nomination. We have a second, and by the way, she has accepted. Now let's move to the next page. Is there any discussion here from the board? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, absolutely.
Okay.
Discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
happy.
there's.
I'm happy I'm leaving. What, I just think, what an exciting,
Heavens, yes.
two at the helm.
Yeah.
So that's the only discussion I have. I think this is terrific.
Okay. Now that's discussion from the board. Any discussion from the public? Any online there, Gariana?
I would like to just say congratulations to Ozzy and Nicole.
Well, thank you. Okay, no other discussions? Would you be kind? We have a motion, we've had discussions, we've had the second. Would you be kind enough to call the vote?
Yes, Crawford,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Ozzy,
Yes.
Brenda,
Yes.
Raina Moore,
Yes.
Scott Parsons,
Yes.
Latanya Thompson,
Yes.
Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Yes.
Justin Van Zerber,
Yes.
Raina Hurley. Oh, sorry, Raina, did you say yeah? Okay. And Jeffrey Robinson.
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Congratulations. Very good. All right, now let's get.
I'm running.
All right, okay, we got a little more work to do here. Now, the next item is so that we round out this leadership team, and we're in the midst of doing that, is we need a secretary. Do we have any nominations for secretary? Yes.
I know about this too.
Okay. Yes, go
I
ahead.
wanted to nominate Rena.
Are there any other nominations besides Rena Moore from the board? Are there any other nominations? Now let's get this right. Rena, do you accept?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Wonderful. So we have in effect, motion and a nomination and a nominee who has accepted. Do we have a second to that motion?
Ozzy Carter, and I'd like to second the motion for Rena Moore as the Secretary of CAB for 2024.
All right, we have a motion
I second the motion.
and a second for Rena Moore to be the Secretary of CAB for 2024. Is there any discussion at the board, from the board first? Is there any discussion from the public at large? Thank you, Gariana. And finally, then, would you please call?
Yes. Crawford,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Ozzy,
Yes.
Brenda,
Yes.
Rena Moore,
Yes.
Scott Parsons,
Yes.
Latanya Thompson,
Yes.
Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Yes.
Justin Van Zerber,
Yes.
Raina Hurley,
Yes.
and Jeffrey Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, we now have our kind of your executive team here. To begin, Ozzy will be your chair for next year. Congratulations, Ozzy. Nicole, she will be your vice chair for next year. Congratulations to you. And Rena, you will be the secretary. Congratulations to you also.
Thank you.
So again, thank you very much. Now we've got 3 other items here, and it's more than housekeeping. We're looking for OCEC for somebody to kind of self-nominate or step up to be the chair of OCEC. Do we have anybody that would have interest? And that would include, for example, people that are new to the board. Don't be bashful. We all started somewhere, and there'll be a tremendous amount of assistance as you move forward in that particular role. Is there anybody that would care to step forward for OCEC? We'll go around the room. And that'll be an area then that the new board may have to address, or that particular committee will address in the future. The next item, programs and services. Do we have any individual here that would like to step up and perform the role as chair of programs and services?
I'll do it. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. All right, Latanya Thompson has stepped up and volunteered to be the chair of programs and services. Now, I think we have to go through the normal voting process here too. She has accepted. Can we have a motion now from somebody else?
I motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion at the board? Is there any discussion for those on Zoom? We are done. Thank you. Now, let's move to, would you be kind enough to call the roll?
Yeah. Crawford,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Ozzy,
Yes.
Brenda, Raina Moore,
Yes.
Scott Parsons, Latanya Thompson,
Yes.
Reverend Julius Van Hook, Justin Van Zerber,
Yes.
Raina Hurley, and Jeffrey Robinson. Motion carries.
Thank you. And then that leaves us one other slot, which is policy and budget, but by our bylaws or our guidelines, the vice chair of CAB is automatically the chair policy and budget. So congratulations. You're in the seat again.
Yes.
All right. Can we now move to the next item on the agenda, which is to review the various reports from subcommittees as well as some of the external meetings. Can we start with the Board of Supervisors? Jill, is there anything there we should be aware of?
Can I ask a question?
Oh,
Sorry, are we not doing like subcommittee selections in this meeting? Are we doing that at the board retreat?
Yeah, at the
at the retreat.
Awesome, thank you.
So, Board of Supervisors, all things Measure X has been on the agenda since the last meeting. So they first received an update from the department on where they were in their spending for the projects that were already, funds were already allocated. 3 departments gave them back that were unspent because, you know, as things go, money's allocated, but if positions aren't filled, then that funding is unspent, so it either be reallocated or turned back over. So 3 departments did turn money back over. And so that went back into the pool of excess funds that was left with, which were 4.7 million that the Board of Supervisors were going to allocate. And so it came to a little bit over $5 million. So they went ahead and took department presentations on what that funding should go toward. And the Measure X CAB also gave their recommendations on what that funding should go for. And that's 2 meetings. And then a 3rd meeting, they actually took a presentation on not only the staff recommendations on that funding, which was last Tuesday, but also anticipated excess funds that are anticipated to be at the end of the 23-24 year, which is $30 million. So they went ahead and allocated definitely the little over $5 million. And so I'm not going to detail out everything that they allocated money for. And then they also dipped into the 30 million, knowing that those funds will likely be there in some of them. So they went ahead and allocated $1 million toward the African American Wellness and Resource Hub, whatever that is going to be. It's currently in a planning process. They have a planning board that they just met for the first time on Tuesday. And so they discussed sort of how to move forward. So they're looking at what all of that means and how best to allocate those funds. And then they also went ahead and approved about $1.2 million for the sheriff for the data analyst. Because as many of you know who have been working in this space, we've got data, but there isn't a person to actually take all of that data and analyze it and provide it. So with the sheriff's quarterly reports, he asked for an analyst, as well as with the racial justice oversight body work that they've been doing. You know, the challenge is not only the sheriff's data, but when you take all the law enforcement agency data, there's nobody to really take all of that information, turn it into something people can understand and see. And so they did go ahead and meet those funds. So we're excited about that one. And more to come because there will be some discussion at a future date as to whether or not and how much to allocate over the extra funds that are going to come in, and whether or not those are one time or ongoing, and how to balance all of that. So there'll be more discussion on that. So that's the Board of Supervisors. And now they are on break until the board reorg on January 9th. where they will select a new chair who is anticipated to be Supervisor Federal Glover. And vice chair will be Supervisor Henderson.
Thank you.
Oh, and I would just say there's no PPC meeting. There hasn't been a PPC meeting. We don't know who's going to be on PPC coming next year. All of those decisions will be made.
Thank you. And CCP, Patrice?
Yeah, so the CCP meeting on December 1st was quite a rich one with rich conversation. First and foremost, they CCP members did approve CAB's updated guidelines, which then allow for the reappointment of any CAB members that were seeking to continue on with CAB and not be subject to losing that opportunity simply because they're nearing the end of their term. So that meant that Ozzie Carter and Nicole Green, they were nearing the end of their term and they were reappointed by CCP. So all to say that if there are other folks that are online or maybe dialing in, or folks you all may know that were previous CAB members that wish to come back and reapply, they are absolutely welcome to do so and can be considered for reappointment. The other big piece of the CCP meeting were the final budget discussions. I want to first and foremost thank the CAB members. It was a bit of a mad dash between the November CCP meeting, which was its budget workshop, and then the final budget discussion that took place on December 1st. CAO came to CCP making the recommendation that they should take action to approve all of the baseline requests from all departments and as well as the community programs, and to then have the program modifications be considered as part of the discussion and planning around the 15 million one-time allocation of AB 109 excess funds, assuming those program modifications fall within the priority areas set by CAB, which were those 4 priority areas. So with that said, what has moved forward to be recommended to PPC are all the baseline requests. None of the program modifications move forward. So this actually tomorrow, policy and budget, which will serve as your work group or your planning work group on the 15 million allocation, will have its first meeting on the priority area of housing. There was, I believe, a program modification request from H3. So that may be a space to have some conversation around that. But all to say, during that meeting tomorrow, I'll also bring up the same update. We'll go over the program modifications from each of the departments and then let the body decide on where it's best fit to consider those modifications in discussion and planning around the 15. And I think that's it. Maybe, possibly, maybe 15, maybe 15 million, right? What do you mean? Depending on what happens with the project. Oh, right.
Maybe.
So in other words, if those extra asks are granted, there will be less of overages because the ongoing funding. That's the case right now.
But we'll plan for and hope for the best.
Okay. All right. Any other items there before moving to any updates? By the way, Garyana, did you receive anything from any of the ambassador meetings? Any, follow-ups, last submissions, etc.?
No, I don't think I don't think I received any reports from the ambassador meetings for this meeting.
Okay. Fine. Or any reports from members here on the board from your ambassador meetings? I believe we're all up to date.
I think I sent the last one for behavioral health, but doesn't need to be put in here.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That was the last one.
All right. Good. So we're moving along. The next area, outreach and community engagement, OCEC. I'll just give you a few comments. Number one, we did take a look at the application of Randy Reyes. The board was kind enough to approve his nomination. We did or we were prepared to, interview Alicia Hastings. And we did not receive a response from her. She did not show up. This was the second time that this had happened. So OCEC just recommended that we remove her from the application pool for about 6 months. Maybe there's something going on in her personal life that just prohibited her from showing up, and that's the way they would like to leave it. So that's the report from OCEC. Are there any comments now from programs and services or report?
Okay, thank you. This is Ozzy Carter. Our meeting was held Thursday, November the 16th, from 11 to 1 p.m. What we discussed was, first of all, we did an update on our in-custody survey. We had a total of 98 responses. 97 were from males in custody and one female in custody. Housing was reported as the most critical need. Employment was second, and many individuals reported having learning disabilities. And there will be a full presentation at the end of the year. Well, we're at the end of the year, so no. Presentation. But anyway.
I can provide it updated.
Okay, thank you. We also discussed gaps in services from CBO providers. And one of the things that the conversation revolved around was the fact that many of our community-based organizations pay and actually have services that they delegate to other organizations, and they don't necessarily provide services directly themselves. So that's something that we're needing to kind of like decipher and separate. And we've been tasked to create some things to better help us do that. There was a creation of a spreadsheet, and we're going to navigate from there to kind of be able to see exactly what services are being offered by which organization and what services are being referred out to other organizations. We also discussed alternative strategies to increase engagement for women incarcerated. Centerforce participated in the discussion, and Centerforce is an organization that provides both pre and post-release for services for women. So would you like Patrice to please fill us in where I made it through?
Yeah, so in regards to the in-custody survey report, the analysis has been done. So we are reviewing the report internally and getting ready to pack it all together so it can be prepared for public dissemination. And the goal is, though the goal was to have it ready to present to you guys by the end of this year, that won't happen. But we will try our absolute best to get it on calendar for January, February the latest, but we're gonna shoot for January.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And the last and final thing is our next step was to create an outline of a spreadsheet of what information we want to gather from CBOs to identify gaps in service. And the baton is handed to you.
So we will go more into details at our next meeting. One of the other areas of concern was when they provide a service, making sure that they provide it for all of Contra Costa, and then being able to identify if it's only a portion of it, as well as actually what service they provide to a group of people, and not assuming that it's for all women or for all males. So we want to get very clear on that to make sure that we have services throughout Contra Costa and not just in a certain area, so that we can identify the gap and provide the need.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
It's gonna be quite a year.
Yes,
Come on back. You guys ready for this team?
Okay. Let's move then to policy and budget.
Okay, so quick update from our meeting for November 27th. Our meeting, we of course reviewed the update from the last CCP meeting. And the focus of our group was really to discuss the outline for and the planning for the April 109 excess funds. So we talked about our work groups. Me and Justin discussed with the help of RJ in reference to how we're going to implement the process, structure it. We had a really great, a really robust conversation. It was great talking about what the gaps are, what we want to focus on, and what we're hoping to get out of these work groups. We do not want to just be like an over talking session, everyone just coming in and not getting to a conclusion. So we requested for it to be extremely structured because there is a goal at the end of it. So I'm very excited about the first one tomorrow. So that's what our focus was. Our next steps, of course, is to host our first work group, which I'm very excited about. So if you do have time tomorrow, it's housing, which we all know that's the biggest one, right? So that's gonna be first, that's tomorrow, on the 15th. And our next steps, as Patrice gave a brief recap earlier, we're gonna talk about what happened at CCP meeting on the first, so that we can talk about how the things that we need to go over doing policy and budget from the outcome from that meeting. And thanks, Jill, for your extra input. I made a note of that last comment. So, the important dates I had listed there was 12/1 was the CCP meeting, and then 12/15, which is our exit funds, housing work. That's it. 11 o'clock. It's from 11 to 1.
Thank you, thank you. Let's move to item number 7 on the agenda, next steps. Oh, I'm so sorry. Rena,
Hi.
Council on Homelessness, my apologies.
No problem. So the Council on Homelessness met on December 7th. At that meeting, they reviewed and approved the point in time count methodology, as recommended by the point in time count committee. They're currently taking volunteers for the point in time count, which will be done on January 24th, as Jamie had mentioned. And they'll be doing pit surveys from February 5th to February 16th. At the meeting, they also got a COC No4 work group update. They'll be holding monthly meetings from January to May of 2024. There was also some funding updates. They're taking applications for Home Key Round 3. And Contra Costa has an available HSP allocation of up to $2,849,741 for fiscal year 23-24. Contra Costa County Employment and Human Services Department submitted requests for full allocation in November. If awarded, they'll be allowed to increase staffing and financial assistance to CalWorks. Also, the COH 2023 work plan recap and progress update, 2024 COH work plan. There was a presentation from CalAIM. And also there's going to be a homeless persons memorial event being held on December 21st from 2 to 3:30 p.m. And there's going to be a Council on Homelessness orientation next year. The important dates to remember would be the Homeless Persons Memorial event on December 21st. The next Council on Homelessness meeting is on January 4th. That's for the orientation. And that next actual meeting is going to be on Thursday, January 18th from 1 to 3.
January 20th was a 2 determinants. They found out it was not work for some members, so. Don't think on it.
Don't think too long. Is that it, Rena?
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
Oh, no. Thank you very much, Rena. Let's go now to next steps. And right after that, I have some comments that I wanted to make. So let's do next steps. Do you have any next steps there for us, Rena? Let's try that again. Garyana?
No, I don't have any documented next steps for the board.
All right.
I have some recommended next steps.
Yeah.
So, you all's next meeting, which will be on January 11th, will be the the cab retreat. So you all have selected, or we polled everyone, you selected to have an all-day in-person retreat. And I got the message loud and clear, food is mandatory.
Yes.
It will be here at 50 Douglas. You guys land on time? I have a time if you don't.
9 o'clock.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Nine to-
nine to, what was it, to 4?
Not,
Okay, we're gonna try to end it at 3:30.
yeah,
Yes.
the agenda will go to 4, but it should get over at 3:30.
Yes, yes. So just prepare for a long day. But it's a long day of really great information, an opportunity for you all to foster relationships among yourselves, since we have some new members, some veteran members. And it's a great refresher for everyone, even if you've been through it 1 or 2 times. You always end up leaving out with even more information or a reminder of things that you may have lost the time before. So we'll be here, 50 Douglas, in this room from 9 a.m. to 4. There will be a virtual opportunity, so obviously members of the public are welcome to join. And I like to say we are preparing, since this is Mr. Crawford Carpenter and Scott Carson, the last meeting, we are preparing for a very special presentation for the both of you. I know Crawford, you're planning to come, you were trying to get out of it, but
I was, but obviously that.
that
Yeah, we were
changes.
trying to get you.
That
We had a
So
special
you're,
request.
so you're coming.
I'm coming.
You're coming.
I'm coming.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Scott.
He's gonna aid my house.
I'm saying.
And his wing lady was right there. Yeah.
So yes, we encourage all of you to attend, and also members of the public, just so you can also get astute to the information that CAP members will be oriented around. And that's it.
Thank you. Well, I've got some comments for each of you. And I'm trying to figure out where I would start. So I'll start with that I'm wrapping up 3 years of service, and it's really been a joy serving. Going forward, please keep in mind that it's important to ask tough questions. Push the envelope. Think outside the box. Most important, think big. Don't be bashful when it comes to change. Remember that sometimes we are so busy looking back, we don't look forward. Looking to the future, that involves our youth. We need youngsters to get involved with CAB. They keep us young, vibrant, and most important, dreaming. On another note, let's ask ourselves, what have we done to hire justice-involved individuals? For example, in the public defender's office, in the probation department, or even ORJ. Remember, we can't articulate and then fail to initiate. Moving forward, I would suggest amplifying women's voices. We might have dropped the ball in this area, but no worries. We can always re-engage. From certain vantage points, there do not appear to be enough services for women in custody. If that assessment is incorrect, then how do we get those women who are incarcerated to avail themselves of available services? That'll be a challenge for you. Finally, CAB is entrusted to continually maintain and establish a circle of care. That circle of care should always be your challenge. Now we're going to switch gears. And I'm going to start with the staff. Patrice, Denise, Garyana, and yes, Jill. Thanks for your assistance, guidance, etc. Each of you, in your own way, have laid the groundwork for one exciting past year. You indeed stirred the drink for CAB. And hopefully, we all learn from each other. And a tip of the hat to the four of you. It's appropriate to reflect on those special members who have been part of CAB this past year and have been so valuable to this unique team and have done their best to give a voice to many with a limited voice. We'll start with the newbie, Jeffrey Robinson. You just joined us. With your work in the Public Defender's Office as a client service specialist, you have a unique landscape with your background. You know the AB 109 community. CAB should be looking to you to champion the attainment of skills for those who are justice impacted. Your colleagues will be expecting big things from you. I believe you won't let them down. Rena Hurley. You are so very new to CAB, but I also have high hopes for your coming engagement. So pleased to have had the opportunity to sit down with you and Mark. That was at Starbucks, I believe. And did I ever learn a lot regarding the needs of women who have been justice impacted. Mark Dantley, who's not with us here today, while his future impact is not readily available, again, I have high hopes that his selection will be most beneficial to the individuals who are in need of our services. His firsthand experience will be most important to CAB as we move forward. And the Reverend Van Hook to my left here. I want to say thank you for your input to CAB and especially the OCEC with your suggestion to contact faith-based organizations in our county. And indeed, that is done. We also need to thank you for bringing Alexandria to our OCEC meetings. Hopefully, and she did get an email from me, she will join CAB. She will join. Wonderful. See, that's what happens when you show up to meetings. Excuse me. 1 second. And Justin, you're on deck. 1 second. Justin, oh, that's a little better. Justin, I'm going to refer to you as the professor. You rightfully ask, is the process right? And are we looking at the right details? Make sure that we don't shortchange our impact on those in the justice system. And let's not forget that he's our numbers guy. We all should impress the partnership you and Nicole established in order to effectively guide our policy and budget standing committee. You are so appreciated. Read more, Madam Secretary. Always engaged and effectively in a quiet manner, getting things done. Your desire to roll up your sleeves and to be the centerpiece for our connection with Measure X cannot be overlooked. Your passion regarding the homeless issue is to be commended. Thank you also for what you did on Programs and Services Standing Committee.
Thank you.
LaTanya, what can I say about you? I don't have anything. calm, effective, a steady leader. Your ability to step in when Ozzy was sidelined did not go unnoticed, while steering our programs and services standing committee. I also enjoyed being your partner in 2 of the ambassador meetings. During those meetings, you were a star, so thank you. Why are you shaking your head now, Brenda? I just wanted to know. Okay.
You got close to the corner.
All right. Oh, okay, Brenda. Thank you for being who you are. That's a dedicated individual who's always been there for us. I know I imposed on you. I noticed I said almost, wanted to say I'm sorry.
Oh. Almost, you got an almost.
But instead, I am thankful for you and for all you brought to CAB. You made a tremendous difference to OCEC. Oh boy, Scott. Okay. Scott came to us from a different background, which was law enforcement. What a different perspective for CAB, and what a refreshing. Can't thank you enough for all of the hard work you put into OCEC in formulating our one-of-a-kind ambassador program. We can't forget the extensive effort you put into revising CAB's PowerPoint. I'll also have to mention your willingness to assist with individual ambassador meetings when others were unable to attend. Finally, your role in setting up the Martinez Retention Facility tour with Assistant Sheriff Simpkins was noteworthy and so valuable. By the way, Simpkins has a new friend in the Latanya. So, thank you for being there and for being a steady hand on OCEC. I'm coming down the home stretch now. Ozzy. What a lady who was not afraid to share who she was. And I am so proud to know who she is today. We came to CAB together during an interviewing process. And during that process, I told the interviewers, uh-oh, the screen just went larger than it should. We're back. And during that process, let's make sure we do this the right way. I told the interviewers that the lady you want for the open voting slot, which we had at the time, was Ozzy. And to the board's credit, they selected you. The board will always be thankful for your contributions, and especially as chair of the Programs and Services Standing Committee. Your efforts in the implicit bias area are of note. We should also touch upon the one-of-a-kind survey sponsored by your committee of those currently in custody. And let's not forget that Ozzy was recognized by the Tobacco Prevention Coalition as the 2022 Advocate of. So thank you. Oh boy. That's it. Hey, no, we're coming back to you. Okay, here we are with Nicole. Oh boy, now this could take some time. Wait a minute. This could take a whole lot of time. What can I say about CAB's vice chair and chair of our policy and budget standing committee? her dogged determinism in guiding our approach to the annual recommendations, coupled with her guidance in allocating AB 109 funding. That was particularly noteworthy. She's the real deal and committed to those with a limited voice. I'll always refer to her as a devoted and willing to walk that extra mile. There's one thing to talk, as many do, but it's entirely different to walk the walk, as few do. Again, she is the real deal. Her desire to do the right thing is noteworthy. Your commitment to CAB will always be marked by 7:30 a.m., 5:30 p.m. calls, during the day calls.
We can't.
And and what does she say? Crawford, are you available? And my response is, it's you, hell yes, I am. And I almost forgot, I will miss being your wingman. That's it. Hey, item 9 on the agenda. We will adjourn to January the 11th.
Mr. Ray ain't got no comment. You just skipped over everything.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Okay, sure. What?
Oh, I just want to say, okay.
Right. That's why I didn't go first.
I'm gonna miss you. I remember the day you called me and I sure didn't want to be vice chair. I know, no matter policy and budget, but I knew that you needed someone to be, he calls himself he's my wingman. He was actually mine. I was actually his, I'm sorry. Anything that you needed me to do, I was there any which way. You know, I was there. And you were, I'll say by far like the best chair for CAB. You put some things in place that are not gonna go away. It's becoming, sorry. Don't give me the tissues, make it worse. Oh, I'm gonna miss you. And you're not gone, because I'm still gonna bug you.
Oh,
Because you created so many documents and I tried to look through my folder and I got over 30, 40 documents that Robert created and I don't know which is which. So you are still definitely needed and I promise that we would hold this torch and not let go of all of the work that you put in with these great members and I am going to. I made a friend in you and I'm gonna really miss you.
right.
I would like to say that timing is everything, and I will forever be grateful for you and our relationship from the first time I applied and you interrogated me.
He does it very well.
From then making me feel comfortable, and even when I question and doubt myself, providing me the resources that I needed. But the thing that most impacted me is that you were truly a mentor. And what made you such a great leader is that you were always available, that you always went beyond the call of duty, and that you always educated in a gentle way, and that you inspired us to be the best that we could be.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why I think that you were so successful is that you were always prepared. From any meeting that we had, there was phone calls, there was emails, there was training to go over it, to make sure that you felt comfortable. There was ongoing support. There was calls afterwards to make sure, is there anything we could have did different? Are you ready for the next one? And I would have not honestly even recommended myself for the position of chair had it not been for you. Me doing that is an example of who you are as a leader. And even when I didn't know it, prepare me for my next. And so you're only a call away. I got your number. And I promise you, I will use it and I will build off of what you put inside of me. And I will be to someone else who you were to me. So
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, thanks.
You
And
haven't
I'm
lost it
changing my
yet.
number.
No, you can't. You got your email.
Right.
I'll change.
Anybody know his wife name and number?
Right, before you leave today.
Well, there must be two Crawfords, 'cause there's no Peters here. No, there's one Crawford, and I think, you're a person that we all admire deeply, that took the helm and did a great job. And I think that because of some confusion in communication, I was gonna leave a year ago. But you asked if I would stay, and you're the kind of man that made me stay, okay? Because it wasn't convenient to be the president of a Rotary and do this, but I did it because of who you are. And thank you for being who you are. Yeah.
I have to echo all of those sentiments. I appreciate you, on top of everything for reaching out to me and seeing the value of having a representative from the faith-based community on this board. And I appreciate you for that, because I wouldn't be here had you not called and been who you were when you called. Everyone knows what I mean.
Yes.
Well, that chair is empty right now. We all know.
I appreciate it, and through your persistence, I have really enjoyed my time and enjoyed getting to know everyone. And it's because of your leadership and the way that Tanya has said that you have conducted everything, and professionalism, but it's been very gentle as well. And so I'm grateful that I got my start with you, and I'll forever carry you in my heart and mind as I go forward about this business.
I just need to say, he's very persuasive.
Yes.
Not a bully, but I sort of get the impression that I really want you to do this. And what I really love about it, he's always supportive. He says, oh, you can do it. Don't worry about it. Right?
That's it.
And he'll call you up and say, what do you think about this? Or he'll send you something, and what are your comments? And you're like, comments?
Right.
Okay. And then you read what he says, and you're like, okay, Crawford, I got it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. Because with this committee, it's like you are, to me, the steering. It's like, we know we can follow what Crawford lays out for us.
Right.
Because, it's gonna be correct and it's gonna be helpful, because it's really made me more conscious of what I need to do in my community. And that's the biggest thing for me, is that, he made it really impressed on me, and that the young people, because we all we're sitting around here and we had a discussion. It's like, we need to bring the young people into this, because it's their future. Okay, basically it's our past.
Right.
Basically, so it's their future, and we need to actually work on that. So that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to get young people interested in CAB. A lot of them don't even know what it is.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the things with OCEC, I was thinking about that. We need to get it out there to the community, so that they understand, that they have a part in this, or they should have a part in it, I should say.
Oh, Brenda's trying to be OCD.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Oh, no, I tried.
He tried.
We tried, no, we tried. We should let that be the last thing that did. Oh, he did, yes. He did.
Crawford and I have had this conversation.
I didn't
Crawford
put
and
it
I
out
have had
there
this
doing the
conversation.
nomination. I let her
Nicole,
know.
what do you
I
say
let her
about
know,
that?
I know.
Okay. Love you, Crawford, so you know that, right? Okay.
So last year, I had 2 ambassador meetings, and he said, Scott, I'll take it easy on you this next year.
Oh.
So I had 5.
Oh, 5, right.
Yeah.
He knew who to call.
Yeah.
He knew who to call.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
Not real bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I think it must be my turn.
Yes.
no.
I was like, yeah, he said no.
Well, I have my tissue in hand, just a forewarning. Crawford, you gave me the seat at the table when we were being interviewed and brought on board here at CAB, and that spoke volume for me as a strong incarcerated African-American woman. Having been overlooked and not seen for the majority of my young adult life, that was the catalyst that changed the trajectory of my public service, becoming a part of CAB. Because the passion that I put into this board, because it's a love of my heart, because, but for the grace of God, there goeth I for the people that we are providing services for. I know in my gut how it feels to wake up hungry and homeless. I know in my gut how it feels to have a substance issue. I know what it feels like to have doors shut in my face. I've made a living amends. My life is a living amends, and serving on CAB is a living amends. But you know, Crawford, you opened that door, you know, and I began to have faith in the process. I began to have faith that I could have a piece of this. I could have a piece of it, and I can have autonomy, and I can have ownership. Because you sat down with me and we created things. We worked together diligently. You worked with me just like you worked with the other board members. And I can't fill those shoes. I'm gonna sure give it a try. I can't fill your shoes. I can't replace you. Because you're irreplaceable, Crawford. You can't be replaced. Your value supersedes anything that I know, because you have left a legacy here.
Absolutely.
The lives that you have touched, the encouragement, your mentorship. But most of all, the devotion, the care, and the love. See, that's where everything is founded on here. It's the love. And you have to see that being in recovery, I understand the language of the heart. People can say a whole lot of things and talk real good, but it's the heart that captures the message. And that's what I hold sacred in our relationship, with your relationship here with CAB and what you've left, and the shoes I'm looking at.
Big shoes.
That you left behind for me to fill. I'm in the race. I'm gonna be here. And I know, since I got your phone number, your email address, you know, I don't know where you live, but before I leave, I'm gonna sure find out. I might be following you home, making sure I have the right address. But thank you, Crawford. Thank you for your service, for your dedication. Thank you so much. And please come back and visit us.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, can we go to the last item? I'm overwhelmed. Are there any other comments, or better yet, are we ready to adjourn this meeting to the retreat with our new leadership team of Ozzy, Nicole, Rena, and Latanya, etc., and looking for the new chair of OCEC? We're gonna find it. We'll find it. So we would like to adjourn then to January 11th, 9:00 a.m. 2024, and thank you. And by the way, you're going to be in good hands with this team. Trust me, you're in good hands. That's it.
All right.
All right.